You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Chrissie, and joining me is my co-host, Thad. Thad, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. Getting a little worried about these moss-covered bodies. I hope they don't come to life.
Yeah, that could be an issue. Although they don't have mushrooms on them, and from what I've seen, mushrooms are really the thing to worry about and not moss. But, maybe. Yeah. Also joining us today is Andrew Kaplan. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today to talk some Trek.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right. Well, before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make this show possible, particularly our associate producer, Carl Wonders. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10, and your subscription of any amount at patreon.com/BQN keeps all of the shows on our network ad-free. So, news, San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah,
Puppet Trek.
Little bit of news.
It's been a busy weekend, hasn't it?
This weekend.
It has.
Yeah. So,
It has indeed.
Starfleet Academy.
Oh, yeah.
It is coming early next year, so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
We got our first real look at it. We got a trailer. We got some character bios. I think it looks freaking amazing. I am all on board the hype train or hype shuttle, and I'm ready to watch Starfleet Academy. I think the mix of legacy and new characters is going to work out really well, and I'm especially intrigued. They're continuing the same sort of thing that we were getting in the 32nd Century Discovery, where it makes perfect sense that various alien species have been interbreeding for many, many hundreds of years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
one of our characters is a Klingon Jem'Hadar hybrid, and I have so many questions, and that sounds really cool.
It sounds like a match made in hell or in heaven, depending how you look at it.
Yeah.
I know that there'll be a lot more costumes probably coming my way for cosplay. Those uniforms looked amazing. And the comm badges.
Why are there so
super
many
cool.
uniforms? Oh, okay. I have to admit, I don't love the comm badges. They look like a multi-tool.
Yes, I agree.
Of
course, they kind of are.
Yeah, they're sort of. Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
And I'm not entirely sure why we have so many uniforms. Why does Jet Reno have her own uniform?
Why is she a gym teacher with a whistle on her around her neck?
Why not?
Like, true.
Yeah, the old-fashioned badge with a lanyard just doesn't make sense in an era of a whatever they're calling the comm badges, tricorder combination things now that I can't remember.
Oh, they do have a name, but I don't recall what it is.
Yeah. Multi-tool.
No, not coming to mind, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
What I find really fascinating, and because we've known it for such a long time, but my burning question is dealing with the EMH. I know they say
Tricom.
Tricom, yes, thank you. It's a common tricorder, yep.
With the EMH being back, I know he's the same one that's amazing. His program hasn't degraded over all this time, but are we going to possibly see or reference the Living Witness Doctor? Because by 32nd Century, he should be arriving home in the shuttle.
Well, it'd be really cool if we get an episode where we get Robert Ricardo playing two different EMHs and they're interacting. That would be very interesting.
That would be really cool.
Imagine double the snark, double the fun.
With two very different personalities at that point.
Yeah.
Likely.
Speaking of snark, this possibly will be the snarkiest Star Trek ever, with Robert Picardo Tig Notaro and Paul Giamatti all on the same show.
Oh, yeah.
And Paul Giamatti is playing a half Klingon, half Tellarite, so you know he's going to be snarky.
He'd be an angry man.
That's just going to be beautiful.
Yeah. The only pet peeve that I have, and this is totally simply because of what I do for a living, really futuristic city, futuristic everything, really old bridge. Yeah, we know it got blown up already twice, one during the Dominion War and one possibly during World War III. But it's landmark, great, but man, no evolution on that bridge at all? Like, it's just stuck in 1964?
I mean, they haven't modernized the Colosseum.
No.
Fine,
or Notre Dame de Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a little bit.
I mean,
they did. Well, I don't think they modernized Notre Dame, but they did.
They restored it. Yes,
they did.
Yes, they had to restore
restoration work on that.
Okay,
just like with the bridge.
Okay.
Also, the Colosseum has had some restoration work, although not to restore it to its original state, but to keep it stable in its current state.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. The architect is wrong.
No, you're not wrong. I understand completely where you're coming from. I think we have to decide that they made a choice to maintain historic appearance.
Sure.
Assume that it is modernized. It just looks like it did in the 30s.
That's
1930s.
true. I mean, we also see the Eiffel Tower still sticking around, so I guess I'm not completely...
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Palais de Concours, we've seen it.
Yeah. At least 2 different matte paintings now.
And outside everybody's window at the office of the president.
Mm-hmm. Just like the Golden Gate Bridge is outside everybody's window at Starfleet Command.
Or on everybody's screen. They don't have to have windows.
Okay, but if they're screens, that makes it weirder.
I don't disagree.
Like, today I'm going to put Stonehenge on. Click.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like, if it's a screen, like, why does every single admiral choose to show the Golden Gate Bridge?
It's a default camera, and they just haven't changed it.
It's like the meadow background of XP. It's fine.
Bliss.
It's the blinking 12 on your VCR.
What's a VCR?
yeah, that. Let me go back to this. Yeah.
Listeners, a VCR was this device that...
Oh, I saw a meme the other day, and it was the question of do kids today, and I hate this, but it works for this. Do kids today know why a podcast is called a podcast? And it's back in the early aughts, Apple had this thing called called an iPod, and like, wait, no, now I have to explain broadcast, and it goes all the way back to the origin of the word broadcast, which meant to toss seeds across a field.
Oh yeah, I do. I've seen that one as well.
So that's beautiful.
It is wild that podcast, yes, is still like. I mean, you wouldn't call it anything else, but there hasn't been an iPod in several years at this point.
I mean, the save icon is still a floppy disk, for crying out loud. So
that's true. You ever see the meme where someone's holding a floppy disk and saying someone 3D printed a save icon?
Yes. The phone icon is an old handset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. So for Starfleet Academy, we got some character bios, some stuff we already knew, of course, because we've met some characters before. You were talking about how we have our half Klingon, half Jem'Hadar. Which, again, super interested in how we went from a test tube baby species to one that reproduces sexually.
I also found it very interesting, because I want to explore... I definitely hope we explore the political ramifications of this. The half Klingon, half Jem'Hadar character is in Starfleet.
Yeah.
But their uniform, where it would have the tiny little deltas on most people, are tiny little Klingon Empire symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes and your attention to detail on uniforms. Very nice.
No. Other people shared this, and I read about it. I did not pick up on this myself.
All right, well, I was trying to give you credit, but
I mean, yes, I do pay a lot of attention to uniforms, and that's why it interests me so much.
you do.
But
In a wonderful way.
someone else pointed that out. I did not.
Yeah.
I can't take credit
That's
for
interesting.
noticing. Yeah.
Maybe we have a situation where we have like a coalition type thing.
It's also the first time we've seen any form of Klingon in the 32nd century, too. We didn't see an ounce of it in
That's
Discovery.
A point.
Yeah, they were a little gun shy about Klingons after the fan reaction in the first 2 seasons.
I still say they look like Xindi and not Klingons, but that's just me.
There are many different versions of how species look.
I think it would have been fine if when we saw like the giant like Klingon, the meeting of the High Council to when L'Rell became Chancellor, if we saw some TOS Klingons and some TNG Klingons mixed in, then it would have worked out fun. But they didn't. But I will say they did all look better in season 2 when they had hair.
Yes.
Gods, yes. Yeah. Klingons need hair.
Except for Chang.
Unless I was about to say, unless Christopher
Technically, Chang has that tiny little ponytail.
Yeah, it works.
And 3 bolts in the eye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. With little insignia on them.
Christopher Plummer was having the time of his life with that role, and you can tell.
Yes. Yes. It's beautiful.
Just so much scenery chewing. It's amazing. I love that movie so much.
That's so good. Best ever. We had some touches of Undiscovered Country music in the episode today.
Yes, we
were
did.
talking about today. And that was nice. So, so we have a part Lanthanite character as well. The Holly Hunter character.
Holly Hunter's character is half Lanthanite, which, and also in Starfleet, which is interesting because that means she probably is old enough to remember the glory days before the burn in Starfleet.
Even if she wasn't in Starfleet at the time, although I have to figure she was, but
I imagine she probably was, but we don't know that.
She still remembers when warp was easy and supplies were limitless and
because if you figure Pelya is thousands of years old, did she say?
She's got to be at least 1,000.
2, because she's made jokes about going to school with Pythagoras.
Yeah.
Which I took as honest, which would put her at about 2,700 years old, give or take.
Right. So you look at that and you look at how old Carol Kane appears to be. And then you look at how old Holly Hunter appears to be. Now, it's established she's half Lanthanite, so she certainly doesn't have to be as old as Pelya, but she would definitely be 700 years old, I would think.
She's like Guinan's age, let's call it, for whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. For as much as we know about that, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, whatever, unless somehow she's like a young Lanthanite who just got kicked into the captain's chair for some reason, she remembers pre-burn. And that's going to be super interesting.
Elorian's age interestingly, though, because, like, Guinan didn't age at all between the 1890s and the 2370s, but then between the 2370s and the 2400s, she aged quite a bit.
Didn't they explain it by saying she chooses to age physically when she wants to?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of for lack of a better term, she's got what is that called in fantasy when you present how you look? The word velour is coming to mind, and that is not the right word, but it sounds like that.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
When you, okay, it was the red wine in Game of Thrones. No, that's face, but never mind.
I mean, I know what you're talking about with Melisandre in Game of Thrones, but I can't think of a specific word to describe it.
was. That's all right.
You'll think of it an hour or two after we finish recording.
This is where AI is useful. This is where AI is not taking jobs from people, because I can type that in and maybe get the answer. Anyway, which I will do later.
Or maybe get a wrong answer that it's confidently right about.
That's true, but I'm pretty sure I will know what the answer is. I could just get out my electronic copies of the books and do a search and find for Melisandre and one of the times that she's taking off her appearance. And anyway, yeah, so that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see her talk to the doctor.
Yes.
And see if if they have some memories in common, how old, depending how old she is. It just occurred to me. Has the doctor not chosen a name in all this time?
We're gonna find out.
At this point, I'd kind of be annoyed if he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Joe. Come on.
No, but that was an alternate timeline.
Yeah, I know, but that's silliness.
We already had this conversation with Prodigy Season 2.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Because there were people on the internet who were like, no, his name is Joe now. I'm like, no.
No, it's an alternate timeline.
Yes.
Glamour. That's the word.
Yes.
It's glamour.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is why I was thinking velour.
Yeah,
okay.
Because it is spelled with the U, like the...
Oh,
yeah,
you are?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Surprisingly, we know who he didn't see in the trailer? No Tilly.
No Tilly.
Yes.
Now, we know she's not main cast. We know that she's going to be a guest star. But it's interesting that she's not in there at all, which I guess maybe she's showing up later in the season.
Yeah, I would expect this trailer to be like first half of whatever we're seeing for season 1, because it seems like that's how they do trailers these days. So maybe she's a pivotal second half, calling the lefty situation.
Yeah, or she might just be popping in here and there. I would be surprised if she's not in the series opener.
Yeah, you would expect her to be.
But, I mean, we got flashes of people. I'd have to watch it again, but we get flashes of people that we've seen, but most of it was people we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? So I could see where they'd be like, well, everybody knows about Tilly, so don't focus on her.
Yeah, and we got character bios for some characters, but not all of them. We don't really know anything about Tatiana Maslany's character. We briefly saw her in shadow in the trailer, but that's it. But I will say, Tatiana Maslany was saying at San Diego Comic-Con that she started watching Star Trek to get into this, and she became obsessed and binged all of Deep Space Nine because she really liked it, which, just tells me that she has excellent taste.
Yes.
Excellent taste. Possibly might tell us something about the character.
Well, speaking of DS9, we also have that wonderful little tidbit with Cisco in the trailer.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I want that to not be a discussion question. I want it to be a test question. Yeah. I want the next screen to be like, that was the correct answer. He spent X amount of years with the Prophets, and then...
So, not only are we getting Mary Wiseman later in the season, but obviously we're going to get Avery Brooks is going to show up.
Obviously. I mean, this is the thing he's been waiting to come back for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
He's
been in the Celestial Temple, so he can come back at any time.
He's going to come back and do jazz from the new Boothby.
I love that, actually.
I do too.
But instead of, the groundskeeper, he's, running, a cafeteria.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Oh, well, because the Academy's on the ship, so they don't need a groundskeeper.
And also, Cisco's more about cooking than...
Yeah. Tonight is jambalaya.
Yes.
I was just watching the Delta Flyers episode about The Visitor today. And didn't know until they mentioned it that Tony Todd was one of the people in the running to be Ben Sisko.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
Yeah. And here, my first thought there is wow, we could have had so much more Ben Sisko because he didn't decide to just, not appear anywhere after a certain point. But Oh well.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be even sad. Like, imagine Tony Todd was Ben Sisko. Then they announced Tony Todd's gonna be in Picard or whatever.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then, yeah.
And he died. Well, of course, it was just last year, right?
Yeah, but still.
No, it wasn't even. Yeah. So okay.
It was within the last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not. Yeah. Well, I still think we should see Cirroc Lofton as a Ben Sisko.
I 100% down for that.
Yeah.
And honestly, even if it's not coming back as Sisko, Cirroc Lofton should just appear at some.
Oh yeah,
that would be great anyway.
100%.
He would be also a great way of like giving like lessons, like since he wasn't in Starfleet as Jake Sisko, you could see his reports being like ways of like seeing multiple perspectives, and it could be audio files or video. Who cares?
So speaking of this,
it's primary source material. He was a reporter during the war.
Exactly.
There also has to be like the day when the Academy professor isn't really teaching, and they wheel in the screen, and it's got to be like a engineering lesson with Miles O'Brien.
Yes,
the greatest engineer who ever lived.
Yes.
Because we know he left DS9 to teach at the Academy, so I feel like that has to happen at some point.
If any of this happens, so many people are going to be like, "It's too many callbacks. We want to see new stuff."
Okay, those people can shut up forever.
Yeah, I agree.
So right now, there's a viral, semi-viral thing going around on Blue Sky where people are posting, for every like this post gets, I will give a Star Trek opinion. And I've been going through people's threads, and oh boy, are there some bad takes. But the one that is like, anytime Star Trek brings back a character, they're like making it worse. I'm like, no, that is what.
Because seasons 4 through 7 of DS9. Just that's some of the worst Trek ever, right? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Old timers day at Yankee Stadium. Yeah, those players suck.
Yeah, really.
Well, they do now.
They're also 75.
So, speaking of bringing back characters, we got information about the Khan podcast, which has George Takei as Captain Sulu and Tim Russ as Ensign Tuvok.
And apparently is no longer any way related to Nicholas Meyer.
Oh, is that so?
Well, they did not mention him one bit.
You mean they didn't drag him out on stage unprepared?
To be awkward? No. But like, he wasn't mentioned. His name's not on the poster. They did say it's written by Kirsten Beyer and David Mack. I think Nick Meyer has completely left the building on this.
I hope it was that he wasn't shoved out. I hope it was voluntary, if that makes sense.
I feel like it probably was.
Yeah.
Because like it was his. I don't think the project would exist without him. So.
Well, that's a point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I feel like he probably decided. It may just have been, you guys have been kicking this can down the road too long. I'm out now. I'm not doing it. It might have just been he may have had creative differences with how they wanted to do it, and he decided that he didn't want it. But I'm guessing he wasn't fired. No.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like he's part of it anymore. But it's written by Kirsten Beyer and David Mack, so it's probably good.
Yeah. No question there.
Yeah, and I like that. Yes, it's apparently it's being the framing of it is that there's like an investigation into the finding of the story of Khan, and so Sulu and Tuvok are involved in that, and then it'll be flashing back to what happens on SETI Alpha 5. It's going to be weekly, starting in, was it November? No.
No, starting on Star Trek Day, the 8th of September.
Yeah, September. It runs through November.
Through November. Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, it is going to be free. There's no mention of having to pay for a service. It says it's available on all podcast platforms. So,
yep.
And it is an audio drama. So this will be very interesting.
Well, what I find really cool about the idea of this podcast situation for this story is that I'm really hopeful that this opens up the door for so much more storytelling for Star Trek, especially for all the actors, because if we're looking at things like Big Finish for Doctor Who, which has been around forever, it feels like now, this would be a
like
great
10 years
medium.
At least for that.
Yeah, it's a great medium to tell so many more stories, add information to existing stories, or just have fun, or read novels that have been written and the characters just read them for crying out loud, or whatever. Nice. But it's really a good idea.
Thousands of novels that don't have audiobooks currently.
I'm hoping this opens a brand new door for Star Trek, because this is a great way for people just to listen and enjoy and not have to be so concerned about, making time. This is the kind of medium everyone always has time for, because it's always when you're cleaning, you're working, whatever. I think this is hopefully a brand new way of doing things.
I was hoping that's what would happen a couple years ago when they did that Picard one, the Picard audio drama with Jerry Ryan and Michelle Hurd, but that appeared to be a one and done.
Yeah, that was too bad. But if this does well, then maybe we will get more of that.
Yeah, my only real complaint about the announcement of the con podcast is that the poster was made with AI rather than having an actual person make it.
Ooh.
Not cool.
Yeah.
Not cool. But unfortunately, that's how things are going right now, and I'm not going to boycott it for that reason.
No, I'm going to grumble and wish that things were different, but that's been par for the course with Paramount recently.
Yeah.
Mergers and all, Justice for Stephen Colbert.
Oh, yeah.
He will have justice.
Oh, yeah. Stephen Colbert is going to be fine. Speaking of, like, this does relate to Star Trek. The merger with Skydance was approved.
Oh, yep.
So, we will probably get out of the holding pattern that we've been in vis-a-vis Paramount Productions in the next year or so. Hopefully we'll get more Star Trek announced. We'll find out what the future of the franchise is going to be. We do know that Ellison is a Star Trek fan. We know that Skydance made the Kelvin movies. So I think it's safe to say that Star Trek is not going to get put on a shelf and forgotten.
No, there's no reason for that. I'm hoping we'll get that Tawny Newsome show.
Yes. The fact that is still in pre-production and not greenlit makes me worry that it probably won't happen at this point, though.
Maybe they'll turn it into a movie in 4 years.
Maybe it'll be good.
And maybe it'll be better than Section 31, although, again, low bar.
Okay, but Section 31 was actually greenlit, so that's slightly different.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, okay.
Section 31's problem was that Anson Mount was too sexy.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you do about that. Because other than give everyone 46 hours of television to watch him on, I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
And then put him on a crew with a bunch of equally sexy people.
Yeah. So. Let's talk about those sexy people.
Yes, briefly though, let's remember that even in puppet form, well, I would not describe as sexy, the hair is dead on.
Yeah, I don't know that I would call it sexy.
No, that's not something that's not something I'm prepared to say. But they did do a nice job with the interpretation.
We did get a teaser for next season on Strange New Worlds. We are getting a puppet episode, and it is done by the Jim Henson's company. So it will be probably pretty good.
I am so hoping to see Gonzo in space again, but that's a completely different story and unlikely to happen.
I mean, I would love if this like created a backdoor pilot for a new Pigs in Space show or something, but just because the Muppets themselves are the intellectual property of Disney, so I don't think we're gonna see any actual Muppets. We're not gonna see Kermit. It's gonna be a separate thing.
How else is Seth MacFarlane gonna come back? he has a great Kermit voice. I mean,
That's
that would be the
true.
perfect way to get him back in.
They could still bring him in for a different voice. He could be Kevin the Frog.
I mean, let's be honest. If Alex Kurtzman calls up Seth MacFarlane and says, "Hey Seth, do you want to be in Star Trek?" He'll say yes, and he won't care what the role is.
That is true.
Agreed. That will be that. When people talk about that type of thing, I am always reminded of how in the 90s when Jerry Seinfeld wanted to be on South Park, and they offered him the role of a gobbling turkey in the Thanksgiving episode, and he was insulted and said no. Because he wanted actual lines.
Sounds like Jerry Seinfeld.
It is, yeah. But, on the other side of that, I think Seth MacFarlane offered the role of a gobbling turkey on Star Trek. He'd be like, yeah, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
As any of us would.
It's like Daniel Craig's cameo in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where you... other than the fact that they told us after the fact, you would have never known it was Daniel Craig because he was in a stormtrooper outfit the whole time.
Yeah, we've had that in Star Trek too. If you think about all the interesting people we've seen in Next Gen under all the makeup.
Fishy McFleetwood, yep.
The Prince of Syria, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
Well, he wasn't under makeup. Jordan. We just didn't know what he. Yeah, it was the Prince of Jordan, now King of Jordan. Yeah. He was going to make a Star Trek theme park a few years ago, but I don't think that actually happened.
Yeah, I think there's other...
He has other concerns, which is fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although that could have been peace.
Yeah, and Tom Morello from Radiohead was also on Voyager. Not Radiohead.
Not Radiohead, no.
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, very different band.
Very different. I always forget about that, though. I love Tom Morello. Oh.
And Iggy Pop was on DS9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we even got Stephen Hawking, so I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And he said he was working on a warp core.
Mm-hmm.
He did say that.
You know what episode of Star Trek doesn't have a celebrity cameo in it? This week's episode of Strange New Worlds.
Yes, quite true. So, this week's episode of Strange New Worlds, Shuttle to Kenfori. Star Trek dives into zombies for what, the second time? Third? Second. We had the Vulcan zombies.
There were a couple zombie Lower Decks episodes.
Oh, duh. Yeah, like the first episode? Yeah, okay.
And then there was the episode on Starbase 80 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, depending how you look at some viruses, you kind of get zombie-like things in Deep Space Nine. But that's chemical balances, not so much actually undead. But,
Well, anyway, so we have zombies.
Empok Nor does sort of have a lot of zombie episode vibes, even if it wasn't a zombie episode.
True.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of immediately.
Yeah.
But Impulse, definitely zombies with the Vulcans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, just right off the bat, Shuttle to Kenfori. Kenfori is a reference to the actor Ken Foree, spelled Foree, who was in the movie Dawn of the Dead, which is the 70s Romero piece that was set in the mall where they were trying to survive. It's quite good. I'm not a huge horror fan, but that's one of Jay's go-to movies whenever he needs to have a TV on and doesn't want to watch anything in particular. So I'm quite familiar with it.
I have never seen it.
See it.
No, neither have I.
See it. It's good. Yeah. It's a wonderful commentary on consumerism because the whole thing is they're hiding out in the mall, but people keep coming to the mall because their like leftover zombie id brain is pushing them to activities that they've done before, and one of them was mindless shopping. So, yeah, it's really good. That alongside of Night of the Living Dead is something that I never thought I'd be watching on a regular basis, but Night of the Living Dead is Jay's like go-to background to fall asleep to movie, so,
That's a choice.
Because,
that's okay.
Zombies. It's the black and white old one, so it's not quite as, it's not like a newer zombie movie, but yeah, I'm like, that's a choice.
I need to relax and just slow my heart rate and fall asleep. I know. Zombies.
Zombies, yep. It's in black and white, so there's at least that like soothing. I don't know. I just smile and nod. I go, whatever. I'm gonna read my book. So anyway, so that's what that is. Listeners, I would say, if you haven't seen the George Romero zombie movies, Night of the Living Dead is a must-see for the social commentary and for what it was, very new and important and interesting for the time. You have a black male protagonist who isn't the first one to die, which is always good, in 1968, and everything that goes along with that era and all of that. And then, like I said, Dawn of the Dead is great for the social commentary. And then Day of the Dead is one that Jay doesn't watch much, so all I remember about that is that there's a zombie named Bub, and they're trying to teach him how to shoot a gun because he's quasi-sentient or something. Anyway, not important. So, but this is Zombies Because of Moss, and we'll get to that. So we start out with a captain's log and Pike finding Captain Battelle on the floor because, Gorn babies. And the way to fix the problem is a chemical from something called the Chimera Blossom, which is only available on this Kenfori planet, which is in the no-fly zone.
It's always in the space you can't get to, isn't it?
Always. It has to be. And you know what? I got ahead of myself talking about all of the George Romero movies and didn't ask Andrew, what did you think of this episode overall before we start talking about it?
Overall, I think it's a good episode. I personally had a little meh with it a bit because zombies and I are not really a thing. It paid off, thankfully, so that's one thing. And I also sort of have this weird thing of like, there's a lot of Battelle, Pike, doomed everything going on. And yes, it totally works for this being the whole plot point of the episode, and it makes it all make sense. I think we're getting too much for the limited time we have for screen time, but also at the same time, character development, yay. I'm all over the place with this episode. It's weird. I love it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. I love it. It's one of those things.
Okay. All right. Thad?
I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I'm not normally much of a zombie person, but in this case, I thought, it worked as a decent backdrop for the story. And I really liked seeing Pike and Benga together. I thought that was great. I liked how we are seeing some ramifications for Under the Cloak of War, which, okay, I guess I can accept that maybe he did murder. maybe he did actually murder Dakra. But, I really liked it. I think the only thing I truly hated about this episode was Una's hair.
I am with you on that one.
Yeah, it was a choice.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I was very confused by it, and then I saw a couple people speculate that it was probably because of that zero gravity scene, so they didn't have to have it floating around her head.
Yes.
Everybody else had short or...
A straight pony would have been okay in that, though.
Yes, that's true.
Or braid. Yeah. But
it feels very 60s in its own weird way, doesn't it, if you think about it?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it brings to mind the times that they played with Dax's hair for one episode for no reason.
Yes.
So, it's a long-standing Trek tradition.
It's hair Trek. They gotta have some fun with it.
Yeah, I thought it was a great episode, too. The zombie thing, it wasn't about that. It was about the interactions between, Pike and Mbenga and Dakra's daughter, Baitha. They were the natural disaster that gave them a reason to get shoved together.
Yeah.
And I like it when zombies are that. It's the basis of The Walking Dead. And I always thought that was a very good basis to explore the human condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, it's not the problem to solve of the week. It just happens to be the existing population of the planet that they have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like a civilization they beam down to for what it's worth. It's not. It doesn't drive the story, but it helps enhance the story, which, as we probably talked about, definitely made its mark for this episode.
Yeah. Like I said, it was a decent backdrop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so because this is available on this planet that nobody's supposed to go to and all of that, the entire 200 and some odd people on the Enterprise decide to agree with Pike and go off the books for this particular little mission. I'm sure they went around and asked everybody.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's fine. And Becca and Pike hop in a shuttle, reminisce about old times with parties and cigars, and encounter a Klingon communication beacon that says, "Go back or die," which I think is very straight to the point. Very Klingon.
It's very
It seems
Klingon.
exactly the kind of thing the kind of communication beacon a Klingon would put up. Yeah.
We get a nice look at the friendship between Mbenga and Pike in this, starting on the shuttle and continuing down onto the planet. As they're talking about the fact that there seems to be no animal life, they're joking about how it would be nice to go fly fishing. If only there were fish.
There might be zombie fish.
There might be zombie fish. I don't know how that works, but there might be zombie fish.
I think The Simpsons.
Yeah. Wow.
Wait, you're thinking like the three-eyed fish? That's not a zombie.
Yeah.
That's just
I know, but it's weird. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mutated.
Okay.
I also love the banter they have about Christine and Dr. Corby.
Yes. So Mbenga is once annulled, 3 times divorced, possibly once widowed. We don't know about Rukia's mother. I think we all assumed that she was dead because he had appeared to have full custody and was keeping her in a transporter.
And didn't consult her before letting Rukia go off with that energy creature.
Yeah. Who she named after her mother, which was, again, another reason why I think she was probably dead. But maybe they were exes before she died?
It's possible.
If she is
that
dead?
Conversation reminded me of Jurassic Park when Ian Malcolm says that he's always on the lookout for a future ex-Mrs. Malcolm.
Yes. Yes, I think we're always on the lookout for a future ex-Mrs. Mbenga.
Although it does develop the question, how long do these relationships last? If he has 4 of them and he's, 40 years old?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, so I looked this up on Memory Alpha, and I believe he is... Oh, I don't remember now. I looked it up and then forgot.
That's okay.
You can't be older than us. Let's put it that way.
The actor's younger than I thought. He's just about 40, I think. So...
The actor is not yet 40. He's...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I believe was... Or was he 41? Hold on. Okay, no. The actor is, in fact... Yes. I'm sorry. The actor is currently 40.
Oh.
Babs Olusanmakan's birthday is September 18th, 1984. So he is currently 40. And I would have guessed like 10 years older.
At least.
It's the same age as Christina.
Man, that's
roughly.
Yeah. That's a real what have I done with my life?
I mean, yeah, that's one of those things where they show you those pictures and like these two people are the same age. Can you believe it? And yes, Babs Olusanmakan next to Christina John.
John Oliver and John Cena.
This is not to say that who and John Cena?
John Oliver and John Cena have the exact same birth date.
Wow, that's a piece of trivia. Okay.
So, contrary to, the way John Oliver describes himself in every episode of Last Week Tonight, I think he looks fine for his age. But, yes, he definitely looks older than John Cena.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference between dealing with politics on a daily basis and whatever John Cena is doing.
Beating people up? Well, I guess he
Yeah,
doesn't do that anymore.
No, now he's acting, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a good actor.
It's not bad.
Like, I've been, like, I mean, especially, did you watch Peacemaker?
Yeah.
Not yet.
He's incredible in that.
The soundtrack is phenomenal in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, and this is not to say that Babs Olusanmikan looks bad for 40. He doesn't.
No.
He looks great. I mean, we talked about how everyone on Strange New Worlds is sexy, and Babs is no exception. But yeah, like I would not have guessed 40.
No.
Now I'm doing a deep dive here, and
Mbenga is
Mbenga was born in 2223.
So he's
and Strange New Worlds is what, 22?
38.
You're doing 2261 right now.
Yeah. So yes.
38.
Well, he was born in he was born December 29th, 2223, so he would be 37.
Oh wow. Okay, so one less year to have those 4 marriages in.
Yeah, because we saw, the reason we know that is because we see his Starfleet bio in an episode.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, how old was Booker Bradshaw? Oh,
how
wow.
old was who?
Booker Bradshaw, the actor who played Mbenga in TOS.
Oh.
Okay, so we've discussed before how people who lived in the mid 20th century aged faster than we thought they do by today's
particularly
standards.
That generation in some ways, yeah.
Booker Bradshaw, who played Mbenga in TOS, was born in 1940.
He was 20-something years old?
He was
28, 27.
Yeah, hold on.
He looks older than Babs now.
Yeah. I thought... I honestly was going to be like,
A Private
he was
Little
born
War was 1968, so yes. He was February. He was 27 years old when he played Mbenga in TOS.
Oh, boy.
Tobacco's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's it exactly. I mean, there are many other factors, but...
And leaded gasoline.
Yeah. But the big factor is that people today have not spent their entire lives in a haze of cigarette smoke.
They're not in the mines, you're telling me?
Yeah.
Right. In the nicotine mines, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, anyway, so he's 38 and he's had 4 marriages.
Sean Connery wasn't even 40 when he retired from being James Bond.
He looked young-ish.
No,
I just...
Diamonds Are Forever, Sean Connery looked very old.
I was going to go never say never
old,
again at that
probably
point.
when he was a child. I mean, Sean Connery.
Yeah.
There are some people that look 50 when they're 18 and then that they just stay that way. Yeah, that just... I need to do some things with my life. Anyway.
Oh no, in Diamonds Are Forever, he was already 40. He wasn't 40 when he retired the first time.
Okay.
He did, in fact, play James Bond 2 more times after he retired.
Yes.
Okay, so Mbenga, let's see, the first time he got married, he was 18. I don't feel like doing the math on those averages. 1 every 5 years, actually. That's an easy math.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. Anyway, so...
I mean, that's plausible.
Certainly, yeah. And in a society that's a lot more relaxed. Yeah, I think that's what it surprises me, because in the 23rd, 24th century, everybody's supposed to be a lot more relaxed about sex and relationships, and so I I hear somebody's divorced and or annulled 3 times before they're 40, and I think 4 times before they're 40, and I think there's somebody who thought they had to be married to have sex, and
Oh yeah.
I don't get that vibe with Mbenga.
No.
I'm just very curious to know who these people were and why it didn't work out now, because there's gotta be a story there.
Well,
one of them was named Deborah.
There is a common factor for all of these marriages.
Mbenga?
And that is Mbenga.
Mm-hmm.
He is the problem, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think that's pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
It was either her or fly fishing. Every single time.
No,
Yeah.
I think part of it is probably the, layers upon layers of PTSD that this man has.
Yeah, at least for the most recent after the war, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't know much about his earlier life, so he could have all sorts of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so there's a novel that somebody can write about the many loves of Joseph Mbenga.
Yeah, let's do an audio drama to get a different celebrity to play each wife.
Bringing it back to what we were talking about before. All right, so they're heading toward the lab. They park the shuttle far away instead of close by the lab for some reason. They're heading toward the lab.
That's for operational security, like in case
the
Klingons show up, they don't want them to see it.
They could have just landed on the roof.
That makes sense.
If it wasn't for hiding,
it clearly worked so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they'd landed on the roof, they would have woke all of those up right away, and that would have been a very short episode because they would have just left.
Yeah, they never would have gotten to the flower.
Get back in the shuttle. I'm not messing with it.
No, and thank you.
Yes. So on their way there, on this planet that's supposed to have no animal life, they find a corpse of a Klingon that seems to have been chewed on a bit. We do get confirmation of the structure of the Klingon rib cage, which actually looks more cage-like.
The lattice work, that's really cool.
Yes, thank you. I don't know why I can't remember the word lattice for that, but yes. So that's cool. They find the blossoms really easily, which tells you that there's a lot more else that's going to be going on in the story.
And I really like, just after they find the Klingon, the dead Klingon, as they're approaching or I guess right before they find the dead Klingon, as they're approaching the lab, they see it in the distance. It's a matte painting. And that's not something you see in Star Trek too often anymore, so I thought that was cool.
No.
And it was so well integrated in, too.
Mm-hmm. 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 I mean, they may have done it with the AR wall, but, I mean, it's clearly a painting, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. So they find the blossoms. They find the lower part of a human leg that's also been chewed on. So now we know we have some kind of weird problem here. And then we get into Pike asking Mbenga about what this treatment is, if it's going to save Batel.
Yep. And
we go very quickly from old buddies to Mbenga saying, I can't talk about this with you. It's
doctor-patient confidentiality.
Yeah, So all he'll give Pike is that this is her only chance, which is ominous enough.
Mm. Also, it's pretty interesting how simply a face mask or an equivalent N95 future is enough to protect them from super toxins.
Yeah, not even that. It's a handkerchief wrapped around his face.
It's the same material used for the biosuits, if you paid attention.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's definitely something.
The ones you can reach up into to scratch your face.
Yeah, and then go crazy.
That seemed like what's the phrase? An excess of caution, perhaps.
So I just watched that episode last week, and because as we discussed in last week's episode, I watched Squire Gothos, and then that got me on a TOS rewatch. But in The Naked Time, this is completely unrelated, but it came up because I'm thinking about this. So Joe Tormolin scratches his face, gets the virus. Then he comes back to the ship, and he tells Sulu that Sulu can't tell him how he should feel because you don't rank me. And that's not true, because he's wearing the insignia of a lieutenant junior grade, and Sulu has the insignia of a full lieutenant. He does in fact rank him. Anyway,
well, that's just
not in his heart.
The kind of thing you say when you have a virus that makes you act like you're drunk.
I guess.
Maybe Sulu had been very recently promoted.
It's possible.
I don't know. So, go back and watch your TOS, people. It's good stuff.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's the classic.
It's like watching stage plays, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I always equate it with Shakespeare.
Why not? Hey, we're sitting here talking about it decades later, and ideally people will be talking about it in a couple of centuries too, so why not? It's the American literature.
There'll be, in a couple hundred years, there'll be high school productions of the Doomsday Machine.
Oh, I love it. They're
well, I make a lot of high school tribbles.
That'll be the one the high schools do, because it's safe. Yeah, and then there'll be a lot of jobs for the kids to make the triples.
I did set construction for my high school musicals, so yeah, that would I'm already picturing the kids all working on triples.
Mm-hmm. And the balsa wood cabinet that would be created so they can all fall on the kid's head who's playing Kirk. Yeah. So, and then you have the grade school production of some episode where, the kid who can't act gets to be the shuttle. Instead of a tree.
Galileo 7, the kid has to explode.
Yeah, I didn't want to say Galileo 7 because that one's real heavy, but yeah.
I'm just picturing a bunch of kids dressed in as the Sasquatch aliens, wailing on this kid pretending to be a shuttle.
Not for nothing, but total sidebar for 1 second.
Why not?
When I was still in Scouts, for the camporees and everything, there were 2 themed space trips, and we had to make vehicles that could shoot tennis balls and stuff. I built the Galileo for one of them for the troop.
Nice.
And we took everything that year, everything. But I'll save that for an in-person story one day.
Very cool.
Think I've probably told this story on the podcast before, but when I was 1 year in Cub Scouts, we had a space. We had space themed day camp. We would do a week of day camp every year, and 1 year it was a space theme, and one of the events they had were a couple people from the local Starfleet fan club chapter came out dressed in uniform and talked about. I'm pretty sure I was the only kid there who was even at all interested in that, but I thought it was great.
Awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, kids who played trees, I'm not being insulting. I was also a tree, so and I was a sheep.
Well, and, how I said that I built the set? That's because I was not on stage doing the acting.
Yep. So there's no insult there. be happy to play a shuttle. Speaking of shuttles, the Klingons show up and destroy their shuttle, stranding them.
I like that the shuttle the Klingons are in is straight out of Discovery.
I like that, but I hate the design.
Same. All the little like tendrils and the pieces sticking out. I'm just like,
it's like a dragonfly. I don't get why it's a dragonfly.
Yeah. Well, because everything has to have wings for Klingons. Because it's all birds and...
There's like some sort of like, raptors. I don't know. I'm trying to think if it's something out of actual ancient history or some sort of fantasy novel that it reminds me of. But it feels like something ancient to me. Like a boat... Like a boat that also has wings on it, but I don't know exactly what I'm thinking of. I can't tell you for sure if I'm thinking of something from a fantasy series or if I'm thinking for something from like illustrations from a history book, and I honestly couldn't tell you which.
I don't think it's the history book, but I'm not going to say that I know with absolute certainty. Also, if it was an illustration in a book, it might not have been a good illustration.
Right. Because the juxtaposition of that little shuttle, like, it just stylistically next to the beautiful D7 that we get in this episode.
Yeah.
Or D6, whichever one it is. It's so just different. It's like...
Or at least it's established as a D7 in last season. The similar ship was established as a D7.
Yeah.
So it was also last season established as a Katinga, so we continue to not be 100% sure if there's a difference between a D7 and a Katinga, as you know we've been feeling ever since like the motion picture.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's on purpose at this point.
Yeah.
We do. Well, I mean, Baita says later that she has to grovel for their passage there, so maybe she had to kind of cobble together bits and pieces. So
yeah, because you see the shuttle flying next to the ship anyway, so. She's not even on that ship.
Yeah. I will say I love the Klingons' outfits.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're a great sort of amalgamation of the Discovery Klingon outfits, the TOS Klingon outfits, and the Berman era Klingon outfits. They're like, it's like if you Tuvixed all of those together, this is what you would get.
With a touch of the K-pop Klingons.
Yes.
From last season.
Because the old silk fabrics and stuff definitely is now metal armor, which is super cool. Mm-hmm. And the sort of baldric design, even though it's a whip kind of thing, family crests, it's all there. The only thing I found a little hard I find hard is the rifle. I don't know. It looks like something out of Alien to me, with the bayonet pieces and everything. It just doesn't look Klingon. The handgun looks great. Just that's weird.
Yeah, the hand disruptor looks a lot like the TOS ones, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So maybe that wasn't a true Klingon rifle. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't notice, but maybe I didn't did not pay that close attention either. So I like the idea of. I mean, there is a logic to Klingons having a blade on the end of a gun.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, that works.
Bayonet. I would expect there have been many glorious Klingon bayonet charges in history.
Yes.
Probably worked a little better than Pickett.
Yeah, well, low bar, but yeah.
Remember the Alamo, guys.
Which is not, which to be fair, was not Pickett's fault.
No, by no means. Right. So the Klingons destroy the shuttle. They're captured after a short firefight, during which time they wake up zombies.
To be clear, they have awoken zombies. They did not themselves fall asleep and wake up as zombies.
Excuse me. Yes, that was not. Yes. In the meantime, they have caused zombies that were around them to awaken.
And Benga does not like that word either, which is funny.
No,
I really like that Pike is like trying to come up with something else to say, but he's like, but for lack of a better term, zombies?
Zombies? Yeah.
And Mbenga says, don't call them that. They used to be Federation scientists. It's like, well, yes, but, I mean, the way zombies work is all zombies used to be a person.
Something. Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Even Pike calls out the Klingons, like, they also were, zombified.
I was thinking about that, and we don't entirely know Mbenga's cultural background. We know he's African.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. African, not African-American, particularly. So if he's got like some Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean background, he might hear the word zombie and think more of the voodoo controlling somebody outside of their will, enslaving the soul kind of thing, and not George Romero's undead running around. And if that's how he's thinking of it, his response makes a little more sense to me.
Yeah.
So, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, because it's the same.
But yeah.
Because then that's the same idea of like Baron Samedi and stuff. How we're used to hearing that side of zombies, kind of like Live and Let Die, or just good old, New Orleans.
Shuttle to Kenfori is a little less problematic than Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
Or a lot less problematic than Live and Let Die. Which, funnily enough, did you know that the book is actually more problematic than the movie?
That doesn't surprise me.
I don't know. The movie's really problematic.
You're talking about the older one, right?
Yeah. I'm talking about the Roger Moore Bond movie.
Yeah, okay. What am I... they didn't do another Live and Let Die for the recent ones. No. Okay.
They wouldn't.
The titles sometimes get me. Well, no, I know that wouldn't be the same.
You might be thinking of like you might be conflating it with Die Another Day.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Okay.
Which is not a good movie, but isn't a racist movie.
I haven't liked that movie, even the terrible CGI.
So, listeners, please listen to my License to BO episode on Die Another Day, where I talk at length about how it's a terrible movie, but I love it.
Yeah, those are not mutually exclusive.
You can also listen to our episode about Live and Let Die, where I talk about how problematic it is and relate the story of how I was listening to the audiobook of the book, and it was springtime and I had my windows open and I had to close them because I didn't want my neighbors to hear the words coming out of the speaker.
This is one for headphones, thank you. Well, literature and stuff. Product of its time.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Fleming was aristocratic Englishman from the mid-20th century. And he wrote like one with all of the opinions and prejudices thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And James Bond is an ornithologist.
Is a what?
As an ornithologist, that's where the name comes from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
I think you said something apologist, and I was like, oh dear, what was the word in between there that I did not know? And how bad was it going to be? So, right, in the meantime, we've hopped back over to Enterprise. Of course, they saw the Klingons coming in, although the Klingons are pretending to not know they're there. We see that Ortegas is very happy to be back at the helm, but is also very tense. And Melissa Navia beautifully played this, where she was just like, she would not leave her hand alone. It was just like constant reassurance that it's there.
And also very obvious, I don't care that she passed her psych eval. They needed to have a better psych eval.
Yeah. They always pass their psych eval.
They do always pass their psych eval.
You think, well, maybe that's why they put
Gabriel Lorca passed the psych eval too. I mean...
And he's evil.
He wasn't even really Gabriel Lorca.
Yeah, that's... That brings up some questions. Yes. To which we do not have answers. That's all right. So on the Enterprise, we are
Ash Tyler
dealing
passed
with...
his psych eval, and he wasn't really Ash Tyler also.
No.
Although in his case, he didn't know he wasn't really Ash Tyler, but honestly,
Yeah.
A psych eval is supposed to find that sort of thing.
I don't think the Starfleet psych eval is designed to find Klingons that have been genetically modified and physically had pieces of themselves broken to turn them into looking like humans.
I bet
I don't think that's anything they considered. Oh, I'm sure it is now. We'll have to have a new rib cage put in.
Yeah.
We have now established that he had to have a new rib cage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because his body was just covered in all of those, because he had been, like, chopped up and reassembled, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This all would have been resolved by one Tribble. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
and Lorca had one in his office that mysteriously disappeared when Ash Tyler came on board the ship.
Yes, he did.
Glory to the Empire.
I'm sure it tasted lovely. H. John Benjamin would agree.
Well, it was genetically engineered to be brain damaged, so it was okay to kill it.
Yeah. I have no leg to stand on there. I'm a carnivore.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah. I have no moral objections to raising animals to eat them. I eat them all the time. I just love that line. He's like, would it make you feel better if I engineered them to be brain damaged?
Yeah, okay.
That whole
I forgot that he said that. I was just...
Yeah,
that I have a lot of issues with that. The first of which is that Benjamin was not cast as the guy who was selling the turtles, because he would have been perfect for that. Anyway,
Cyrano Jones.
Cyrano Jones, thank you.
Tribbles are not dangerous.
So we then go to sickbay, where Batel is in an amount of pain sufficient that she's literally screaming. I don't even want to know.
And Spock walks in and says, "I hear you're in pain."
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. That Spock is
master of understatement.
Mm-hmm.
He offers to help via mind meld, goes the long way around explaining it by saying, "This takes Vulcan children years to master, but I think you could probably do it if I helped you." So,
why don't they help the Vulcan children? Why do they make the Vulcan children take years to master it, then?
Because they had to walk uphill both ways in the snow to go to school, too. So now your children have to.
And barefoot, nonetheless.
Yeah, I guess not in the snow, in a sandstorm.
There are two volcanoes exploding at all times.
Yeah, and I 100% have always hated the "I suffered, so you should suffer too" argument. It's ridiculous and is not. Yes. Anyway,
that is it's an asinine thing to say. Yes. No, I did not take that as Vulcan children are allowed to feel pain for many years until they've figured this out.
Fair. Yeah.
Throwing them in the deep end of the pool and seeing if they drown, but more it's part of their logic training over years.
No, that's a good point. The Vulcan children are not in constant pain in theory, so okay.
Hopefully.
So it's okay for them to take longer to learn this. Okay.
They're learning it before they need it, let's say, hopefully. Right, so Spock offers to mind meld, sits on the weird end of the chair that looks like it was trying to be a set of stirrups in a GYN's office, but wasn't quite establishing, or wasn't quite making that, wasn't quite doing that. I lost the word I wanted to say there.
Well, that would only be if Star Trek was on Showtime. Yeah,
and that would be a different issue entirely. Of course, Paramount and Showtime, same network.
That's why I said Showtime, because it would be. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Does Showtime still have softcore porn? Because I know HBO got rid of theirs.
I don't know. I've been looking for it in a long time.
The internet's really, really great for something, as we all know from Avenue Q.
Yeah, no, there's a very good reason HBO got rid of theirs. Who wants that when you can,
I watch it for the plot.
When you could watch Bridgerton, if you just want softcore.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh, for crying out loud. I just Googled Showtime softcore porn, and the first result is Paramount Plus. Watch Showtime after hours movies and shows. So, yes.
Oh, boy.
It's a sponsored result.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's anyway, so Spock offers to help by sharing a mind meld. And while doing that, he sees this Gorn presence, and she sees the Gorn presence. Would I get the impression she didn't know was there before?
I don't think so.
Yeah. And whatever he did helped, because she felt better afterward. But
he punched the hell out of that poor nurse.
He ends up punching the nurse across the room, and Chapel has to smack him to get him out of it.
He does apologize to the nurse.
He does. Very briefly.
Could we sort of say, like, what's happening is almost like a, like when you have cancer and it comes back kind of thing? You know,
yeah, it seems like it.
In the same vein.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy, because they thought they had...
The Gorn was in remission, and now it's back.
Yeah.
That's the word, yep.
Because I feel that's very in with how I think the feeling they're trying to get, because she's on a ticking time clock. It's metastasized, essentially. You know, they're giving, all the right buzzwords without saying a single buzzword.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Then Spock gets called away because Una has called a staff meeting, because they have lost communication with the captain and the doctor, so now they have to figure out what they're going to do. Scotty comes in late representing engineering. I assume after Pelia convinced him to go in her stead, because it seems like she doesn't like meetings.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, she doesn't do meetings. Which
I don't blame her.
Yeah, after a couple thousand years, she's probably attended far too many of those. I mean, I don't like going to meetings.
No.
You don't have to have a couple thousand years worth of meetings to understand.
I have a coffee cup that says this could have been an email.
I like it. I hope you use that in meetings so that people can see it.
We rarely do camera meetings, but yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're... All right, so they are trying to figure out how they can get closer to the planet without the Klingons noticing them. Spock suggests this really low impulse approach that will kind of make them blend in with the debris around the planet. And they'll be able to get in without tripping the Klingon sensors, but it will take 4 hours. And here's where we see Ortega's... She doesn't lose it, that's not the right word. But she
speaks out of turn.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Slightly insubordinate, as La'an says. She wants to warp into the atmosphere, pick them up with the transporter after Scotty does some magic Scotty stuff, and then warp out. But Una says no, she's going to go with Spock's plan, it's safer. Ortegas is not happy about this.
Yeah, and she, takes it out a little bit on Uhura for no reason at all. Uhura was barely in any way confrontational at all. She was just providing information, and she
simply just didn't back her plan. That's the fact.
Yeah.
No, it's good to see character growth though for Ortegas. We've done not little but rare elements of it, and now we're seeing something. It's definitely going to be a season-long thing. Clearly, it's cool to see that La'an is a little more chill. And on top of that, it's just good to see the fact that, it builds up to something, which is, it's not just like a one-off, I'm just upset about the, my idea wasn't picked a la Worf moment.
I want to blow up the warp core. No, Shax. I love that bit. So they start inching their way toward the planet. And in the meantime, Pike and Mbenga are going through the lab. They're trying to avoid the zombies. They're looking for the communications array so they can signal the ship to come get them, come get them. This is when we have the conversation about what are they zombies. And Mbenga finds computer records that we get a nice little explanation as to why they're there. Okay, the Klingons attacked. They did not pay attention to safety protocols because they're attacking. Yeah, and they're Klingons. And an experiment using a perennial moss got released and infected everyone and basically turned them into moss zombies. So
science out really well. Made it nice and easy to follow it. It for me, this is where I went from. I don't like the ideas of just using zombies as a trope. Zombies are now a plot device. This actually starts to make more sense. It's now not just for the giggles, even though zombies are not the giggling thing. But my point stands.
Yeah, no, and it's not
giggling
something that is just...
zombies would be terrifying.
Yeah. Okay, that just makes me think of the little girl in the first episode of Walking Dead. Like if she had been giggling as she was walking up to Rick. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I liked too that it wasn't like this. There's this mysterious thing that's causing people to turn into zombies, and we're never going to know what it is. So this is just something we have to deal with. It's forever. It's forever on that planet, or at least as long as the moss is dormant, I guess. But it doesn't have larger implications outside of that. It's not like
the pathogen's already itself dead, so it makes
we're
it
not
easy
turning into it. We're not turning this into a season-long The Federation is infected with zombies arc.
Which I'm grateful for. Pike connects the dots about the Chimera Blossom and realized it was being used for hybridization of... Well, they were using it for hybridizing crops. And he realizes that the plan is to hybridize Batel with the Gorn. And he is not happy that he was not made aware of this. Batel didn't tell him. And of course, if she didn't tell him, nobody else had the right to. And Mbenga tries to get around that. Like, it was her choice. She decided this. She knew everything that was going to happen. And he's hurt. And we see that at the end, and we'll talk about it then. But I can kind of understand that. The way he explains it later, he wanted to be able to be supportive and helpful. But he also does exactly what she said she thought he would do, which is immediately go for there has to be another way. And there isn't.
No, it's also interesting to talk about the hybridization situation, because we don't really see Gorn the way we're used to seeing Gorn, especially at this point in time. While it could be some really crazy far off payoff towards the end of the season, where something goes completely awry. Maybe this is how we get our more familiar TOS lower decks human-looking Gorn arena style.
Yeah,
but who knows?
They're all Gorn Batel hybrids. They never told us.
No wonder Kirk wants to fight them.
Yeah. So then, of course, the zombies are coming after them, and they do, to bring up Jurassic Park again, they do the, we're going to hide in the cabinet like the kids in the kitchen in Jurassic Park. Which has
they didn't even get Jell-O first.
No. But thankfully, we didn't have that scene with the mirror or the reflection where you think it's, But then they're rescued by Baita. I mean, rescued to just so she wants to kill him, but they're rescued for the moment. She takes them up to the roof where she's going to, where her shuttle is. The zombies are up on the roof. They have to turn on the force field to keep them away. Because of course, yeah. We get that wonderful scene of Mbenga trying to keep them from coming through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a la Walking Dead. Don't dead, open inside. And then we learn who Baita is. She explains that she is the daughter of Dakra and needs to clear not the dishonor done to her family or, some kind of blood feud done with her family because Mbenga killed her father, but because she was planning on killing her father because he was the cause of the family's discommendation. It's a lot of layers there. I like it.
Yeah. But,
it also sounds very Klingon. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's also very Klingon that since Mbenga killed her father, now she needs to kill Mbenga, even though she was going to kill her father, because that's the only way that she can... It's like... It doesn't make any logical sense, but it makes Klingon sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
Not to mention...
Sense. It makes Klingon sense.
And also, we get a wonderful callback to the Viridian patch, because, that's the only time we use them.
Yes. So she's been tracking Enterprise for a while. Since they were at Starbase 1.
If Klingons have a history of using Viridian patches, you would think they would be checking anyone going into their prison to make sure that they don't have one.
You'd think. You would think.
It was a very special award that Kirk only wore on his back.
What always bothered me about that from the get-go was that they didn't change clothes. Like, they kept them in the same clothes they were arrested in, and they never... whatever. That bothered me from the first time I saw that movie.
They would have given them
9.
like a prison outfit, yeah.
Yeah. For specifically that kind of thing, like they could have had weapons secreted on themselves or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So she's been tracking them for a while. I don't know. We know that she's not in a good place with other Klingons. So maybe that's an underhanded, dishonorable tactic, and the Klingons don't think to use Viridian patches or Viridian, whatever, olives. So, in the meantime, Ortegas has used an opportunity of having to slightly change the speed of the ship to force her plane on the crew. And so Enterprise has to push its way in, warp in order to rescue them. Which happens after Mbenga and Baita have a good old-fashioned hand-to-hand fight, in which, of course, the human wins because, why not? What did you think about this idea that Mbenga has this... He feels like he has a monster inside himself, and he does not need to unleash the monster today.
I mean, it makes a certain amount of sense. It also means it adds more to the thought that Mbenga needs therapy, and therapy is not marrying another woman.
You took that somewhere I wasn't expecting. Yes. Women don't exist for your emotional labor, people. Yeah, your wife is not supposed to be your therapist. Your significant other is not supposed to be your therapist.
Going back to the Viridian patch for a second.
Yeah.
I like how established it was in a drink he was given by a Rongovian. And we did see a Rongovian last week at the wedding. So that was presumably when it happened. And I thought that was a neat little callback.
I liked that because I did not understand why they had that in the episode. At the end, when he was just like introducing himself to the guy, like I figured it had to pay off somewhere down the line, but at the time it just
I really like the whole back and forth after Pike gets stabbed and he's listening to Mbenga essentially confess murdering the Klingon simply because it definitely adds weight and gravitas. Well, you could argue he's saying it maybe just to, get into, to have the Klingon hear what she wants to hear so he can protect his captain. there's still a little bit of gray, I think, maybe left in that. Even if they kind of discuss it towards the end of the episode again, I think it was a really good way of getting things to be in the right direction, because it kind of facilitates a way of escaping and everything else. And this way, he doesn't have to be the warrior; he could just be a protector in this case.
Yeah. I did like that he took her down and had the knife at her throat and then tossed it away. You know, if he wanted to, he couldn't have been more insulting to her if he'd tried, and that was beautifully done.
And it's a really interesting callback also to the Omega Glory with the strap between the two people, the two knives. It felt very classic Trek, even though it's extremely very much, what we know Klingon to be.
Yeah.
Oof, the Omega Glory.
Yeah.
I
love that episode.
So, my problem with the Omega Glory is that I can't get behind identical cultures to Earth developing on a planet with different land masses.
Yeah. Even on a planet with the same land masses, it's questionable.
With the same land masses, it's theoretically possible. Like, I'm more okay with Miri because of that. Okay. I feel like Miri wasted the Earth-like planet on that episode. There could have been way more interesting things happening with an Earth-like planet than the fact that it was an Earth-like planet did not matter to the plot of Miri.
That's true.
True. Yeah, so then you have that on the one planet that looks like Earth, and then you have the Omega Glory, and you have bread and circuses with completely different land masses. So how could these identical cultures have developed? It wouldn't have worked.
Did they inverse the green and the blue?
And I know there's the Hodgkin's theory of parallel development, but come on.
Well, if you add to the Hodgkin's theory of parallel development, if you add the providers to that, then you could have some ancient alien preservers. Excuse me. You can have some ancient alien shenanigans going on, and they can pick people up that are cultural artifacts, shall we say?
So the preservers picked up people during the Cold War on Earth and put them on this planet, and they didn't remember that they were transferred from a different planet.
I mean,
it would have influenced the culture, and then hundreds of years down the line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
Although this is not
the makes as much sense.
Series did, because Nazis.
But that said,
the
Omega Glory is an excellent argument anytime someone tries to say Star Trek didn't used to be political.
Oh my gods. Yes.
I mean, I literally watched that episode.
Picture, you take that still.
I literally watched that episode every year on the 4th of July after the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. That's the go-to. Like requirement for me.
Love it.
So, there were several years ago, Shatner tweeted that his Star Trek talked about issues but was never political, which is a nonsensical statement to begin with. And I couldn't resist replying with a screenshot of Kirk reading the Constitution.
But see, that's not political because it is the default politics. It's the American thing. And American politics is not political because it's the way everybody should be, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like that...
you hear the sarcasm in my voice.
It's like that meme that you see that's like gamers have two genders, male and political, two ethnicities, white and political.
Yes. Yeah. I have completely lost my train of thought. So, Mbenga, as we always do on Star Trek, somebody's strength is proved by beating up a Klingon. So, Mbenga proves how strong he is.
And he didn't even have any of that, of those vials of whatever it was that he used in the other episodes.
Special con blood, whatever.
Yeah. I feel like that probably doesn't completely go away. Like there's probably some leftover genetic modification for that, if I had to guess.
I also love the trope of stabbing the force field generator, knowing that that's going to screw them immediately as soon as that happens.
So the force fields are dropping. Baita decides she's going to sacrifice herself to allow them to escape. This is an honorable death. She knows it, and Benga knows it.
She'll get to Stovacor.
Ostensibly, Kalis knows it, so she can get to Stovacor, and Benga wishes her a safe journey to Stovacor, which not safe. That wouldn't be right for a Klingon. A good journey to Stovacor.
Yeah. She gets to do the 1 versus 100 situation, which is the perfect way to end any Klingon opera. So there you are.
Yeah. And choke on me. I mean, what else do you say to a bunch of zombies? So Pike and Mbenga get beamed out just before they can get to her shuttle. And then everybody's back on the Enterprise. And we see Spock working on taking the enzymes out of the flour or whatever it is that he's doing. And Pike and Mbenga are discussing Dakra, the death of Dakra. And Mbenga basically asks him, are you gonna turn me in?
Yeah, and this is
Pike
where
says no.
I think it's pretty clear to us that in Under the Cloak of War, which I at the time said was not 100% clear.
I don't think it was in the episode.
Yeah,
No.
But at this point, it's pretty clear to us that he did, in fact, murder Dakra, because if he hadn't, and he had just been telling that story to, satisfy the Klingons, then that's what he'd be telling Pike at this time.
Yeah. So Pike says, well, I don't, this never happened, so what have I got to report, basically? Which is 2 episodes that we've had that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or parts of didn't happen.
So there's the scene
3.
with
I
Pike
thought
and
Pike was supposed to be a Boy Scout.
Well, it's Kirk that was the overgrown Boy Scout. Jim Kirk was many things, but he was never a Boy Scout.
Never a Boy Scout. Yes.
But so Pike and Patel, he has a legit complaint that she didn't tell him about anything. He doesn't have a right to tell her what she can and can't do.
Right.
And that feels a little to me.
I don't feel like he's coming at that from forbidding her from doing something. I feel like he's coming at that. I feel like he's coming at that from a. Yeah. But I think it's she handled this in a very captain kind of way. I'm going to take on the danger. I'm taking care of this. I'm the one responsible, and the people subordinate to me or the other people involved are not going to be put in danger because of something that I'm going to do. Right. So she takes on all the responsibility like a good captain that we have seen. And I think Pike wants to have her a little more in the chain of command in that way. He wants to take on the responsibility. He wants to be the one to put himself in danger to find a different way to do it.
A little bit of White Knight syndrome, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But I do see where you're coming from with that, Thad.
But it's also a very natural response, too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it does, but at the same time, it doesn't quite sit right to me. It almost feels like he's trying to say that, like, basically tell her that she can't make certain decisions. That she shouldn't make this decision, and I feel like that's not really his place.
No, it's not. It's not. I think if she had gone to him and said something about it, it would have been exactly what she said, though. He would have said, no, let's find a different way, and it would have been, there's nothing else to be done. So, I loved the line about, I can't be concerned about how my dying hurts your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
That hit me hard.
Yeah, I liked that.
As somebody who deals with emotional labor, this one hit me hard. I just, that was well done. But yeah, I sympathize for him. I sympathize for them both. You know?
Yeah, we also know how doomed they both technically are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And the other thing that we get here at the end, we do get Una chewing out Ortegas.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Ortegas gets knocked down to having to go back to chain of command training for a while.
Yeah.
Also, I'm really glad that we don't see like this situation where she tries to avoid or try to like lie her way through it. She says, "Yeah, I might have slipped," and then she immediately goes, "Yeah, I did it. I confess."
Yeah.
She doesn't try to beat around the bush, which also just shows although she knows she made a mistake, she also understands that she can't do that really or ever again, because we know this is foreshadowing to something else, whatever that might be.
Mm-hmm.
It will be very interesting to see the outcome of this, simply because we've also been seeing quite a bit of time jumping in the last couple of episodes. So I'm going to gather by the time we hit episode 4 that at least 2 weeks have passed, because she's probably going to be back on the bridge again after whatever events have occurred, or they'll actually get to see her trying to struggle through it for an episode. Who knows? But either way, it definitely helps build character, and that's the one thing that Strange New Worlds, I think, does so well. In every episode we've seen, we've gotten these really, we're used to truncated seasons of 10 episodes, 12 episodes. We don't have the breathing room of a 24 episode season of yesteryear. And when we get to see these episodes now with Strange New Worlds specifically, it feels like I'm watching like a 2-hour cinematic movie, how much they've been cramming things in, not just for Ortegas, but for all the characters. Like, I really feel like I've watched something every single time this show has gone on. And that's a testament to how well the writing's been, the acting has been, editing, the works. Because even in this little instance with Ortegas and this one little scene, I mean, they're eating the rug, as they say it. There's a lot going on. And it's a minute and a half, but it feels like it's a 5-6 minute scene, which is not what we got in Discovery, unfortunately, and glimmers of it throughout the other shows.
Yeah. I am looking forward to seeing how all of this is going to fall out, of course. Thad, I think you were saying in the last episode about how you thought there's going to be a confrontation between Batel and Ortegas.
Yeah, Abby brought that up in last week's episode.
I knew we talked about it.
I think that still seems pretty likely to me.
Yeah,
that could be a very needs of the many situation at some point. You never know.
I think it's I also find it mildly amusing and ironic that Ortegas has to report to the warrant officer for chain of command training, because a warrant officer is a non-commissioned officer, so therefore would be lower on the chain of command than a lieutenant.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's like Chief O'Brien, you know.
An equal yet different chain, at the end of the day. Still, non-coms are just as important.
Oh yeah, no, I just find it 100%. Amusing because a commissioned officer is higher than a non-commissioned officer in the chain of command.
Even
does the warrant officer? Yeah. Does the warrant officer have to salute the lieutenant that they're teaching about how to return to the chain of command?
Thinking of that DS9 episode where Brian says, "I have to call that kid sir now."
Yep.
Yeah,
as soon as he graduates.
And they actually pull that joke a couple of times too. It's really enjoyable.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end this. Any other thoughts on this episode?
I really liked it.
Yeah. Yet another good episode. Yet another well-written powerhouse of an episode for a series that just keeps on going strong, and hopefully will keep going strong until it's written off the face of the planet.
It will.
Yeah. We only got 14, 15 episodes in total left, technically. After season 3.
After season 3, there will be 16 episodes.
Yeah. Right now we have 22.
One season's worth. Great.
We are, in fact, at this point, we have passed the halfway point in Shushu Worlds.
Yes.
That's depressing.
I mean, on the one hand, yes. On the other hand, it means there's still a lot of Strange New Worlds left to go.
Sure.
Yeah,
we've only just passed the halfway point.
And hopefully, unlike the Mets, we will have a strong second half.
And the Tigers this year. Oh my God. Yeah. So, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us for this discussion today. Where can listeners find you online? And I know you got something cool you want to talk about that is something that you work on.
Yeah. So you could find me on Instagram and Facebook under Trekatecture. So think architecture, but replace the arch with Trek. I am, if you know my stuff from some East Coast conventions, I do a lot of wood pop art and LED lights and all these fun starship-based things. And then on the flip side of things, if you're in the New York, Long Island area and you need a licensed architect to design your house, well, here's my plug for my usual 9 to 5 as well. But no, this has been a blast. I really enjoy being here, guys. I appreciate having to dabble along with some other Star Trek friends, as I am an island of myself back here at home, which is the usual way it goes. So it's always fun to be a part of the bigger community for a bit.
I would point out that the Mets and the Tigers right now are leading their respective divisions.
But the Tigers...
We don't talk about that.
Well, my Orioles are 48 and 58. Oh,
that's all right.
They are last in their division.
You said the second half part, and I think the Tigers have only won 1 or 2 games since the All-Star break. So
yeah, well,
it's the second half.
The second half, though, there's still plenty of time for them to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. But
yes, which I love my Tigers, but man alive, did we do that?
On the flip side, I don't think my Orioles are going to make it this year.
It's all right.
There's always the wild card, man. Come on.
That's true.
14 and a half games behind.
That doesn't mean they're 6 games back in the wild card. These are how ridiculous they made the playoffs now.
That's true.
You know, the thing about having a team that is not doing well is that the tickets are much more reasonably priced.
Not for the Mets.
Well, okay.
Sorry.
Well, that's because
except in New York City.
Everything's expensive in New York. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's yes. So thank you again, Andrew, and everybody go look at the awesome Trekatecture stuff. And there's some other stuff on there too. There's some Mario Brothers stuff that I was
Mario gaming.
I have
Pokemon.
In the mail to me right now is a Stargate thing from Andrew.
Nice.
Yes, it is. Fresh off the Shore Leaf run.
All right. Well, Thad, where can people find you when you're not working on genetic modifications that accidentally make moss zombies?
Best place to find me, you can find a list of everything at tyrannicus.net. That's tyranicus.net, where I list all my podcasts and public socials. You can hear me on License to Spiel, a podcast I do with my friend Carl, where we started out talking about James Bond, ran out of those, did some other things, and are now currently going through Columbo. Also, next week, you can see me at Star Trek Las Vegas. I will, not like in an official capacity or anything, but I will be there all week. So, feel free to say hi and see me walking around.
So jealous of that.
Mm-hmm.
Chrissy, where can people find you when you're not trying to mind meld the pain away?
Yeah. In addition to here on Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagys here on the BQN. That's the twice weekly short history podcast I do with my fellow historian partner Jason, who is the one who introduced me to the zombies. And actually, if you're interested, there is one episode that he did as a fun joke episode where he took Return of the Living Dead and turned it into an historical event. So
I really enjoyed the recent one you did on Zelda.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're trying to do some lighter stuff. I'm working on one on the alarm clock right now because of the subplot on the Gilded Age. So,
nice.
Yeah. Right. And I'm also happy to chat about our shows on the BQN Collective on Facebook and in the Discord. And I am on the various socials as the Goddess Livia, that's TheGoddessLivia, where you can see my opinions about Star Trek history and leftist politics.
Don't forget all our other great shows on BQN. Here's a recording of Amy to tell you all about them.
Calling all audiophiles and Trekkies. Prepare to boldly go where no podcast listener has gone before with the diverse soundscapes of BQN. We're not just a network, we're a universe of exploration, entertainment, and deep dives into the topics you love. Here's your star map to the sonic adventures awaiting you. Charting the Star Trek cosmos, we have all good things. Embark on a comprehensive journey through the entire Star Trek universe with insightful crew of Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. From classic to current, they cover it all. Galaxy Class, Engage. Stephen and Stefan pilots this deep space mission, meticulously covering all aspects of Star Trek The Next Generation. Infinite Diversity. Stay current with the newest Star Trek frontiers alongside Chrissie and Thad. Union Federation. Whether your allegiances lies with Starfleet or the Planetary Union, Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley offer a unified front discussing both current Star Trek and the truly Trek at heart, the Orville. Crack open that book with Peter and the Trek Book Club podcast. Delve into the rich tapestry of Star Trek's beta canon. What's the T-Bab? Christos spills the latest Trek news and fandom insights with an essential LGBTQIA+ perspective, complete with engaging guest interviews. Our visual voyages that you can find on YouTube as well as a podcast are Trexperts Quiz. Think you're a Starfleet Academy graduate? Test your knowledge with Davey and MC's challenging Star Trek quiz show. And the View Screen. Tune in live on Sundays for your dose of Trek-inspired talk show. Kelvin and Amy host new 8-week seasons each spring and fall. Beyond the final frontier, we have Bargain Bin Gamer. Davey and Mitch, your self-proclaimed gamer guides, lead you to digital treasures, unearthing and reviewing the most affordable video game gems. Cinema Z. Grab your metaphorical popcorn for Mark and Matt's cinematic deep dives, unearthing overlooked films that demand your attention. History with the Szilagys. In order to never repeat it, tune in as Chrissie and Jason deliver bite-sized snippets of historical events from around the globe. And transformational journeys. Lex Rosa explores what it means to embrace authenticity in the face of societal expectations. To unlock deeper levels of engagement, try our patron perks. The Hive Mind is where you can join our random script readings, live reaction shows, and roundtable discussions. And check out our back catalog of It's Green, a verdant cornucopia of topics offering diverse and engaging conversations, and Amy's Math Moments. Discover the subtle and not so subtle mathematical wonders woven into the fabric of Star Trek. You can stay connected to our ever-expanding galaxy of content by following at BQN Podcasts on Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Discord. We appreciate you choosing BQN to fill your auditory needs. Thank you for listening. assimilate the audio.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Mark White for the awesome short. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player, and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
If you want to reach out, you can find the network on the socials at BQN Podcasts, or our show specifically at Idic Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, and join our Discord server. When you next hear from us, we'll be talking about the next episode of Strange New Worlds, Space Adventure Hour. Until then, peace and long life.